Have you ever wondered what makes some women radiate a unique magnetism? They seem to have an energy that draws people in, but it's not just about beauty or charm. There's something deeper at play. This magnetism comes from a place of independence, self-love, and emotional intelligence. When a woman lives alone, she is presented with an opportunity unlike any other. She can build a life on her terms, free from external expectations. But this freedom is not just about having a space to call her own. It's about creating a life that fuels her energy, nurtures her soul, and cultivates a deep sense of self-respect. This internal peace, grounded in self-sufficiency, sends out a magnetic signal that influences every interaction, every relationship, and every opportunity that crosses her path. But how exactly does this process work? How does the power of living alone translate into the unique magnetism that women seem to effortlessly embody? At the heart of this magnetism lies something that might seem abstract at first, but is, in fact, deeply rooted in science. Everything around us, including our bodies, emits energy. This energy is a reflection of our thoughts and emotions. Think of it as a frequency. What we think influences how we feel, and how we feel broadcasts a magnetic field into the quantum field around us. This is not just metaphysics. It's a principle grounded in neuroscience and quantum physics. To fully comprehend how our thoughts and emotions work to attract or repel specific experiences, we must first dive into the concept of energy. Every living being and object, from the smallest particle to the largest planet, emits an energy frequency. These energies interact with one another in the vast quantum field, the invisible, all-encompassing energy network that connects everything. It's this field that serves as the stage where our energetic interactions occur, shaping the events in our lives based on the frequencies we emit. At the most fundamental level, our bodies are made up of atoms. And atoms, contrary to what we might assume, are mostly empty space. In fact, 99.9% of an atom is empty space, with the remaining fraction occupied by particles that constantly vibrate. These vibrating particles interact with one another, creating a unique energetic signature for each object, including you and me. This is why we can say that we are energy beings, constantly emitting and receiving electromagnetic fields. When you think of thought, you are essentially moving energy. Thoughts are electrical charges that fire in the brain, creating neural connections. This activity generates electrical impulses that affect your overall energetic state. In turn, these electrical impulses influence your mood, behavior, and even your physical health. But it's not just the brain's electrical signals that are important. It's also the feelings that these thoughts produce, which bring us to the second component of this energetic process: feelings. Neuroscience has long studied the connection between thoughts and brain activity. Every thought we think produces an electrical impulse that travels along the neurons in our brain. These electrical impulses are fast, often too rapid for us to notice consciously, but they are powerful enough to influence both our physical and mental states. Our thoughts activate the release of neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers of the brain, which influence our mood, behavior, and perceptions of reality. In quantum physics, everything is in a state of constant motion and vibration, and this includes our thoughts. Thoughts are not just abstract, fleeting ideas. They are energetic signals, like a radio transmitter sending out frequencies into the quantum field. When we think, we send out a unique frequency, an energetic signature that is broadcast into the universe. This frequency carries information, influencing the world around us in ways we might not always be aware of. This is where things start to get fascinating. Think about the way an antenna works. The antenna doesn't just create signals out of nowhere. It tunes into a specific frequency, pulling in signals from the environment. Similarly, our thoughts can act as an antenna for the energetic field. The frequency we broadcast is like the signal we're sending into the field, and the experiences we draw back to us depend on the nature of that signal. The principle here is clear. What you think, you send out into the field. The more consciously you become aware of your thoughts, the more control you have over what you are emitting. You begin to realize that your thoughts can either align with the outcomes you desire, or they can block them entirely. While thoughts are electrical impulses, feelings are the magnetic component of our energy system. This is where the power of emotions comes into play. Thoughts may send out signals, but it is our feelings that attract. Feelings are what give our thoughts the energy to pull experiences into our lives. When we feel something deeply, that emotion activates a powerful magnetic force that draws events and circumstances into our lives that match that feeling. For instance, think about how you feel when you are genuinely in love or filled with gratitude. These elevated emotions are magnetic. They carry a high-frequency vibration that is attractive to positive experiences. On the flip side, when we are consumed by negative emotions like fear, anger, or resentment, we create a magnetic field that repels positive experiences. This is not just an emotional phenomenon, it is a scientific one. The electromagnetic field that surrounds us is a direct reflection of our internal state. The stronger and more aligned our emotions are, the more potent our magnetic field becomes. For a woman who lives alone, this power is amplified. When she is not constantly surrounded by external influences or the need to please others, she can better tune into her own emotions. She can refine her emotional responses and cultivate a state of alignment with her highest self. And when she is in this state, the universe, through the principles of quantum energy, responds by bringing people, opportunities, and experiences that match her vibrational frequency. Living alone creates a unique space for self-reflection and emotional mastery. Many people are constantly bombarded by external energies, the opinions of others, the demands of family and work, the pressure to conform to societal expectations. In contrast, a woman who lives alone has the opportunity to become deeply introspective, to explore her emotional landscape without the distraction of others' needs or judgments. She has the space to cultivate self-awareness, to understand her emotional patterns, and to consciously choose her emotional responses to life's challenges. In this state of independence, she is not relying on others for validation or approval. Instead, she looks inward to find her own sense of worth and purpose. This internal alignment strengthens her magnetic field. She is no longer influenced by the external environment in the same way. She is in control of her thoughts and emotions, and this control empowers her to become the architect of her own life. Most people, unfortunately, operate in survival mode. They react to life's challenges, often feeling controlled by their circumstances. They let anger, fear, judgment, and stress dictate how they feel and respond. This creates an energetic field that is not conducive to attracting positive experiences. It's like trying to tune a radio to a particular station while the antenna is bent or damaged. No matter how much you try, you can't get a clear signal. In survival mode, the brain is constantly scanning for threats. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for detecting danger, takes over. When we experience fear, stress, or anxiety, the brain shifts into a state of fight or flight. This primal reaction is a necessary part of human survival, but it is not conducive to creativity, connection, or attraction. When we are in survival mode, we are not able to tap into our true potential. We are not vibrating at our highest frequency. However, a woman who has learned to live alone, who has had the space to reflect, heal, and grow, does not need to react in the same way. She understands that her thoughts and emotions are within her control, and this understanding is empowering. She knows that she can shift her emotional state from fear and anger to one of peace and love simply by choosing to change her perspective. When she chooses to let go of survival emotions, such as fear or resentment, and practices cultivating elevated emotions like gratitude, love, and joy, she shifts her energetic frequency. She begins to broadcast a magnetic field that is strong, positive, and attractive. This emotional mastery is key to unlocking her magnetic potential. But how does she make this shift? Self-awareness and emotional identification. The first step in emotional mastery is self-awareness. A woman who is in tune with her emotions can identify when she is slipping into survival mode. She can catch herself when fear or anger arises, before it takes over her entire being. The key is to notice the emotions without judgment. Instead of repressing or ignoring these feelings, she acknowledges them with compassion and understanding. She doesn't allow these emotions to dictate her actions. Emotional release techniques. Once she has identified the emotions that no longer serve her, she can release them. Emotional release techniques, such as deep breathing, journaling, or guided meditation, can help to let go of the past emotional baggage that may be weighing her down. By consciously choosing to release negative emotions, she frees herself from their magnetic pull, cultivating elevated emotions. After releasing negative emotions, the next step is to cultivate elevated emotions. This is where the power of gratitude, love, joy, and peace comes in. By focusing on positive experiences and practicing gratitude daily, a woman can raise her frequency. She can train her body to feel love, joy, and contentment, even in the face of adversity. As she does this, her energetic field begins to shift, living in alignment with highest self. The ultimate goal of emotional mastery is to live in alignment with your highest self. This means that every thought, feeling, and action is guided by a deep sense of love, authenticity, and self-worth. When a woman is in alignment with her highest self, she becomes a powerful magnet for the experiences, relationships, and opportunities that resonate with her true essence. As a woman continues to elevate her emotional state, she begins to see the impact of her inner work on her outer reality. The universe, in all its mysterious quantum wisdom, begins to mirror her energetic frequency. When she is radiating love and positivity, she begins to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that align with those energies. It's like tuning the radio to the perfect station. The music begins to flow effortlessly into her life. This is where quantum physics meets real-world transformation. The universe operates based on energetic frequencies, and like attracts like. The more a woman aligns her thoughts, emotions, and actions with her highest self, the more she will attract experiences that match that vibrational frequency. The foundation of the magnetic energy that women who live alone possess is rooted in self-love and authenticity. The more a woman loves and accepts herself, the more her internal frequency aligns with the energy she wishes to attract. She becomes a living example of what it means to honor her own worth, regardless of external validation. This self-love isn't simply a fleeting emotion or superficial affirmation. It is a deeply ingrained understanding that she is worthy of all the good the world has to offer, exactly as she is. To truly comprehend the power of self-love, we must first explore the idea of self-worth. What does it mean to truly value oneself? It goes beyond confidence or appearance. It's about knowing, deep in your soul, that you are enough. Women who cultivate this inner knowing radiate a powerful energy that others can sense even before they speak. Their presence becomes magnetic, pulling people, opportunities, and experiences that mirror their sense of self-worth. But this process is not without challenges. The road to self-love is not linear. It is filled with moments of self-doubt, uncertainty, and vulnerability. In fact, women who live alone often face moments of loneliness, fear, and insecurity. Yet, it is in these moments, when they are confronted with their deepest fears, that they have the opportunity to choose self-love over self-criticism, acceptance over judgment, and growth over stagnation. This conscious choice, time and time again, builds an internal strength and self-assurance that radiates outward, creating a magnetic field of energy that draws on what they truly desire. Self-love begins with acceptance. Many women struggle with self-acceptance because society often encourages them to look outside themselves for validation. They are told they need to fit into certain molds, meet societal standards, or gain approval from others to be deemed worthy. This external pressure can cause women to doubt their value, leading them to seek external validation in all the wrong places. However, true self-love is grounded in the realization that no external source can define our worth. It is inherent, and it comes from within. When a woman learns to accept herself fully, flaws, imperfections, and all, she breaks free from the chains of societal conditioning. She understands that her worth isn't defined by her appearance, achievements, or the approval of others. This acceptance allows her to step into her authentic self and embrace all that she is, without fear of judgment or rejection. This deep sense of acceptance is what makes her truly magnetic, because authenticity, vulnerability, and self-assurance are qualities that draw people toward her. It is also important to acknowledge that self-love is not synonymous with self-absorption or narcissism. It is not about being constantly absorbed in oneself or disregarding others. Rather, it is about cultivating a healthy relationship with oneself, where self-compassion and self-respect come to the forefront. When a woman loves herself, she is not only more kind and compassionate toward herself, but also toward others, creating a positive ripple effect in her relationships. Self-love doesn't require perfection. In fact, the most magnetic women are those who embrace their imperfections. These women are not trying to be someone they're not or conform to someone else's idea of what they should be. They are authentically themselves, flaws, quirks, and all. And this authenticity is precisely what makes them attractive. When we accept our imperfections, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to be perfect. We stop comparing ourselves to others or striving for an unattainable ideal. Instead, we embrace our unique qualities and learn to love ourselves unconditionally. This process of self-acceptance allows us to step into our full power, unburdened by self-doubt or the fear of judgment. Women who live alone often have the opportunity to explore their imperfections in a safe space, without external judgment or expectations. They can engage in self-reflection and introspection, learning to embrace the parts of themselves that they once found uncomfortable or unworthy of love. Through this process, they gain a deep understanding of who they are at their core, and this understanding becomes the foundation of their magnetism. While self-love is the foundation of magnetic energy, authenticity is the amplifier. Authenticity is the quality that attracts others on a deep, almost instinctual level. It's the energy that emanates from a woman who is unapologetically herself, who is not afraid to show up in the world as she truly is. Authenticity is magnetic because it is rooted in truth. When a woman is authentic, she is not wearing a mask or playing a role. She is expressing her true self, and this creates an energetic alignment between her inner and outer worlds. The energy of authenticity resonates with others because it is rare. In a world full of facades and superficiality, authenticity stands out like a beacon of light. When a woman is authentic, she attracts people who appreciate her for who she truly is, not for who she is pretending to be. This creates a powerful connection that is based on mutual respect and understanding. Being authentic also means expressing vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it is one of the greatest strengths a woman can possess. When a woman allows herself to be vulnerable, she opens herself up to deeper connections and experiences. She invites others into her world, allowing them to see her true self, imperfections, and all. This authenticity creates a sense of trust and safety, which makes others feel comfortable opening up and being authentic in return. Authenticity is not always easy. It requires a willingness to embrace vulnerability and confront the shadows within. We all have parts of ourselves that we may not be proud of, the aspects of ourselves that we hide or suppress in fear of rejection or judgment. But it is precisely by embracing these shadows that we can unlock our full potential. For a woman who lives alone, this process of self-discovery and acceptance is often magnified. Without the distractions of external relationships, she has the space to dive deep into her inner world and confront the aspects of herself that she has been avoiding. This process of self-exploration can be uncomfortable, but it is essential for growth. The more she embraces her shadows, the more she integrates all aspects of herself into her authentic being. Through this process, she learns that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a source of strength. By allowing herself to be vulnerable, she connects more deeply with herself and others. She no longer needs to hide behind a mask or a facade. Instead, she stands in her full power, knowing that her authenticity is her greatest asset. One of the most powerful shifts that a woman living alone can make is moving from a state of reactivity to one of non-reactivity. When we are constantly reacting to the conditions around us, whether it's a harsh word, a stressful situation, or an emotional trigger, we give away our power. We allow external forces to dictate our internal state. But when we cultivate non-reactivity, we take back our power. Non-reactivity is not about suppressing emotions or ignoring what's happening around us. It is about choosing our response rather than simply reacting. It is about creating a space between stimulus and response, allowing us to respond with clarity, composure, and intentionality. This shift in perspective can completely transform how we navigate life's challenges. Women who cultivate non-reactivity understand that their emotions are their own responsibility. They have learned to pause, reflect, and choose their responses. This creates an energetic field of calm, clarity, and control, which is highly attractive. When others are operating from a place of chaos and reaction, they're drawn to the peace and stability that comes from someone who has mastered the art of non-reactivity. Mindfulness is one of the most effective tools for cultivating non-reactivity. By practicing mindfulness, women can train themselves to stay present in the moment, without being swept away by their emotions or external circumstances. Mindfulness allows them to observe their thoughts and feelings without judgment, creating a sense of detachment from the constant stream of stimuli that they encounter. Emotional regulation is another important skill in the practice of non-reactivity. It involves learning how to manage emotions in a healthy and constructive way, rather than allowing them to dictate our actions. Emotional regulation allows women to experience their emotions fully, but without being controlled by them. This skill enables women to maintain their composure in difficult situations, responding with clarity and intention rather than impulsively reacting. By practicing mindfulness and emotional regulation, women can shift their focus from external events to their own internal landscape. They become less concerned with controlling their environment and more focused on creating inner peace. This peace, in turn, makes them magnetic to those around them. People are naturally drawn to individuals who exude calm and stability, as these qualities offer a sense of safety and reassurance. Now that we've explored the critical role of emotional mastery, let's delve deeper into the profound impact of elevated emotions on our magnetism. The idea that emotions play a central role in the energy we project isn't new, but understanding how to harness this power is what allows women to truly step into their magnetic potential. As we've established, thoughts are electrical signals, and emotions are the magnetic component of our energetic makeup. While thoughts lay the foundation, it is our emotions that truly create the vibrational frequency we emit into the quantum field, influencing what we attract. So, what kind of feelings should a woman cultivate to amplify her magnetism? At the core of this lies the power of elevated emotions, emotions that vibrate at a higher frequency and have a profound impact on our lives and those around us. These emotions not only shape our internal experience, but also attract experiences that align with their energetic signature. Let's explore some of the most powerful elevated emotions and how they can unlock a magnetic presence in a woman's life. Love is the foundation of all elevated emotions. It is the most powerful and expansive emotion we can cultivate, and it holds the key to unlocking the full potential of our magnetic field. But love is not just about romantic relationships. Love is much broader than that. It encompasses the love we have for ourselves, for others, and for life itself. When a woman is in a state of love, whether for her family, friends, or her own existence, she emits a frequency that draws more love into her life. Love is not limited to what we receive. It is also about what we give. When a woman is generous with her love, whether through acts of kindness, affection, or appreciation, she creates a powerful energetic signature that attracts more love in return. This is the essence of the law of attraction. Like attracts like. A woman who radiates love becomes a magnet for positive connections, whether they be in the form of new relationships, opportunities, or personal growth. The more she opens her heart to love, the more she expands her capacity to receive love in all its forms. But love isn't just about warmth and affection. It's also about compassion, understanding, and forgiveness. When a woman loves herself unconditionally, she no longer seeks validation from external sources. She doesn't rely on the approval of others to feel worthy. Instead, she has learned to accept herself, flaws and all, and radiates this acceptance outward. This creates a magnetic energy that attracts people and experiences aligned with her highest good. Another powerful elevated emotion that amplifies magnetism is gratitude. Gratitude is a simple yet profoundly transformative emotion. When a woman embraces gratitude, she shifts her focus from what is lacking in her life to what is abundant. Gratitude opens the door to a deeper appreciation of life's blessings, big and small. The science behind gratitude is fascinating. Research has shown that practicing gratitude can increase levels of dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters associated with feelings of happiness and well-being. This chemical shift in the brain enhances positive emotions and elevates our frequency, making us more magnetic. Gratitude helps us cultivate a mindset of abundance, which in turn attracts more of the same into our lives. A woman who practices gratitude on a daily basis, whether it's through a gratitude journal or simply taking a moment each day to reflect on the good in her life, vibrates at a higher frequency. This frequency becomes magnetic, attracting more of what she is thankful for. For example, when a woman expresses gratitude for her health, she becomes a magnet for vitality and wellness. When she is grateful for her relationships, she attracts more harmonious and fulfilling connections. The more grateful she is, the more the universe aligns with her energetic signature. Gratitude also shifts the focus away from negativity, which can be a powerful tool in reprogramming the mind. By consistently choosing to focus on what we're thankful for, we retrain the brain to seek out positivity. Over time, this rewires our neural pathways, making it easier to maintain an elevated emotional state. Joy is another key emotion that plays a pivotal role in magnetic attraction. Joy is a deep, expansive feeling that arises from a place of inner contentment, fulfillment, and connection. Unlike fleeting happiness, joy is a more profound state of being that comes from within. It is not dependent on external circumstances, but rather reflects an inner sense of peace and satisfaction.